Hello, my friends, and welcome to another Watch with Ray, where I review a recent horror movie outside of what we do on the podcast and outside of like possibly what I do with Ween. So sometimes you'll get just me, and sometimes you'll get the both of us. It's a double header. For today, it is just me. And I actually texted Ween and said, you would fucking hate this. So it's another one where I'm like, I'll take the hit for you. Because even though with Skinamarink, she said she'd actually go back and watch it. I was like, excellent. This no mas. She will not. She does not like, if you've listened to the podcast, you know that she does not like found footage. So that's going to be a no for her, dog, and it's going to be a serious no for her because this is all over the place. So without further ado, I'm bringing you another very divisive movie. Some people like it and some people fucking hate it. So not as much, I don't think there's as much visceral reaction like with Skinmarink. Because I mean, with that one, there was maybe like two people that liked it, me included. This one, there's a little bit more, but I totally get it. It's another reason why I'm like, I like it. I don't think everybody's gonna like it, and there's parts of it I don't like. Any hoozlebees, um, let's get into it. So I'm here to talk tonight about the Outwaters. So this, I actually like, so I'd heard about this movie through actually another podcast. They were mentioning one of the guys on it was talking about how it was one of his like favorite movies of the year. And this is not a horror podcast. They just happen to like, a lot of the guys like, and shout out to We Hate Movies. If you've not listened to them, my God, please go listen to them, become Patreons so you can get their sweet ass commentaries because they're the best. But Chris Cabot on there was like saying that he really enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure he said it was like one of the best that he saw this year already. Like he's really stoked about like what this director is going to do after this, and 100% agree, 100%. So movie was written, directed, acted, choreographed, edited by Robbie Banfitch. So I'm gonna give a fucking shout out to this gentleman. I mean, because there's five actors in it, and it's like that you see on screen, I should say. And he does magic with very little budget. I'm looking to see if I can see how much this cost. Oh, wait, I gotta be a member of IMDb to see like production cost. What garbage is that? So anyhow, and he's had a couple shorts before this. So this is like, I think there was another movie he has. Let's see what his other movie is. Also, fuck you, IMDb. Um, yeah, nothing these are all shorts. So literally, this is his first big movie, like his first like full fiction movie. So fuck, holy shit. Um, I'm looking. Count of the Waters. I know you guys. Holy shit! The budget. So Skidmarink, $15,000. The Outwaters, 15 fucking $1,000. Bitches be making some good ass movies for nothing. So all of you big studio budget bullshit, you better get on it because you better bring some people in, start getting some new blood in, some new thoughts. Because as much as I'd love to see the Nun 2, it's coming, FYI, guys. Or Saw motherfucking 10. Did we not? Did we have more story that we needed to fucking say with Saw? Did uh, okay. It's a big goddamn budget, and it's not, and it's gonna fucking flop because it's Saw fucking 10, and no one gives a shit anymore. Anywho, getting back to what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna break this into two pieces. First, I'm just gonna give my review of it, and then I'm gonna give my theory. So, and like I did with Skinamarink, I gave you a time code to come back, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna go through because I really think, and this because the review is gonna be of itself is gonna be very short because I want you to go in knowing nothing. Like Skinamarink, I think you should go in not having a fucking clue. But I mean, it gives you like the description of this movie is literally like, let's see what it's four travelers encounter menacing phenomena while camping in a remote stretch of the Mojave Desert. Yep, that's it. So, do I want to like ruin this for you? Absolutely not. So, I'll do the review, and then I'm going to those of you who'd like to peace out can. Then I'm going to give you my theory as to what is happening in this movie because I've seen a lot online. And there's some that I totally agree with, and then there's some that I was like, I found a stepping stone, and I was like, let's move past that because I think this is completely right. So, like, there's a really great discourse online, which I think is awesome. Like, how many movies anymore have this amazing discourse of like, what the theories behind it, what happened, what could the meaning of all this be? If you look, and we've had a really good year for this kind of stuff. And well, we're looking 2022, I should say, going into 23. And if this is a harbinger for what is coming, awesome. Because we started with, beginning of the year, we had everything everywhere all at once. That thing, you can dissect that for days. There'll be theses written on this. There'll be like dissertations and on that movie. So I love that we're getting this discourse that we haven't had in a while about movies. Um, so anyhow, to the movie. Now that I've sawed at your face. Wait, that's not right. Sounds violent and not what I meant. I chew, whatever. I talked at you a little bit. So I have some notes. Um, so we get a 911 call that is absolutely it is, but at the same time I was thinking to myself, fucking 911 operators are the fucking worst. Because if you are a true crime fan, there will be at least one time you've heard a fucking 911 operator being a goddamn asshole to somebody who's having the worst literal day of their lives, and someone's like, ma'am, you need to calm down. I'm like, bitch, she doesn't have a goddamn arm or whatever. I'm like, you need to calm your ass down and be nice and at least be accommodating and try to not just be a bitch. I'm sorry that your job sucks. Duh. But again, worst day of her life. Anyhow. Okay. Also, if you really want to get pissed off, check out what happened with Susan Powell's kids in the 911. You want to go light some shit on fire in your front yard. Anywho, so there's a 911 phone call that comes in, and it's just a woman screaming, and she's trying to make words, and she can't, and everything's distorted. Like her voice is normal, but there's points where it goes very tinny and very like almost as if somebody put it in a vocoder. So it's very I can't explain it. Kind of like just very otherworldly. Um, and then we just get we get a couple title screens throughout, and what we learn from these title screens is that these are tapes that have been recovered from a crime scene or from somewhere. Crime scene. We'll say crime scene. And we meet the four people who we are going to travel with for the rest of the movie, which you have Robbie, Scott, Ange, and Michelle. Is that right? Yep. And Robbie and Scott are brothers. Ange is brought into, so Michelle is like this They're around like late 20s, early 30s. That's what pretty much all everybody in the movie is. So Michelle is kind of this hippy dippy, like new agey sort of folksy. That's what, because she's a folk singer. Like I guess her mom was a folk singer, so she's singing, I guess, her mom's song, and she's just recorded it, and so she wants Robbie to help her make a video. So they're gonna go out to the desert in, I think, New Mexico. Does it say where they go? But oh, Mojave, yeah, Mojave. So, well, that's in California, isn't it? How dumb am I? I don't know geography. California. So I just, because something happens in it that I was like, oh, this must be New Mexico. But anywho, they go to Mojave. I might cut this. I look real dumb. I promise. Like history stuff, I know. Geography, I don't know. I couldn't pick out a state if you. I mean, I know my own state because it sucks. But if someone was like, here is a map, and I'd be like, I know where Florida's at because that sucks too. Um, so they're going out to the desert to make this video, and they're going to camp in the Mojave Desert. I'm just gonna say, if you don't have experience doing it, because these two girls seem real nice, but don't seem like the camping type. It'd be like me being like, I'm gonna go to the Mojave Desert in wherever state that's in and go camp. My friends will tell you they've asked me to go camping, and I've said, "Oh, fuck off." No. Is there a bathroom? No. Okay, well then you can fuck right off. No, I am not going. I'm not going camping. Is there a chance that a spider will crawl up on me? No. Good. I'm good. I can do that in my own home. Do that in my own home. Thank you. Um, so they all decide to go out and just stay. They're gonna stay for a couple days. Robbie's gonna record some ambient sounds to maybe, for the record, or possibly for maybe behind the scene footage. I don't know. I don't exactly know what they're planning on doing, but Angie's out there to do Michelle's hair and everything, and I think Scott's out just to write, write, and to I don't know, and maybe because he's the one, I guess, who's had camping experience. You couldn't tell because he's not real helpful. Sorry, he's hot. I mean, he's real hot. Um, there's not a bad looking person in this movie. Let's just say that, all right? Yeah, everybody's hot. Um, they go to see, so sorry, Robbie and Ange. I don't think Scott. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is one of the things I didn't care for as much in this movie. The first 30 minutes of this movie is fucking long and it's fucking boring. And I might have been doing other things because I wasn't paying attention real well. Um, it's you are trying. It is get to know these four characters. Cool. It's I think with movies like this, it's tough. Because you better have characters that are very likable to sit through. Oh, and these four, especially the two girls, especially Michelle. It was a struggle for me to stick with them because I was like, holy shit. In fact, my note is Michelle is a lot. She's a lot. She cries a lot in this movie, and you're like, bitch, calm down. Um, but Robbie goes to visit his mom, and is literally his mom in real life, his mother. And she kind of like laments why his brother hasn't come to see her, and she hasn't seen him for a while. So he's always trying to be like, you should call mom. We see a bunch of flashbacks or he's like, or scenes where he's like, you should call mom, she's worried about you. So you have that kind of connection to the outside world there. Um, and I got this feeling that Scott was kind of had the hots a little bit for Michelle. I kind of got that idea. We do not see, there's no payoff on that, but that's kind of what I was thinking. And and I'm just going by what Robbie uh Robbie Banfitch has done in the past. I believe he's gay. So, and I think his character is gay because he has a short called Gay Pumpkin Carving. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say the gentleman possibly, at least, is gay. I don't know if he's bisexual or what, but so that really doesn't have much to do. Well, okay, never mind. I digress. But you're getting to know these people, and you really need to like them because you're stuck with them for 30 minutes doing like watching them do mundane shit, like going into like seriously trudging through the desert, seeing snakes, and I swear to God, like they sing all the fucking time. Michelle sings all the time. And you're like, listen, I know that you're a singer. And she's got a pretty voice. It's something like personally, it's nothing to write home about, but it's really pretty. Um, and she's got a folksy voice. So she's singing this lullaby that her mom sang to her, so that's what she's recorded. Get ready to hear that about 50,000 times. And then another one, which is another folk song that I know is not, I know is an Irish folk song. So I don't, and I those there are different words that they're, and I can't think of the folk song's name right now, but there's two different songs that they sing. Um, so they get out to the desert, and then I think it's around the second night. The first night, everything seems to be going okay. And I believe it's the second night. Well, it's the second day. Robbie's like he's going off and doing like just taking video of the landscape and doing a lot of atmospheric recording of sounds. Like there's a awesome shot and recording like an audio recording of a bat. Like you can, and they use that sound a number of times in this movie. So you might not see the bat, but you'll hear that same sound, and it's really cool. Um, and at one point, Robbie finds this hole in the side of a it's just a lot of, I mean, it's desert, so there's like a lot of hills and like not so much mountains, but like pretty high off, like you know, mountains or whatever you want to say. And so he finds this hole and he sticks the microphone in, and he gets a lot of like feedback on it, like a reverb, but then also like really weird. It's hard to explain, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to say it's an interesting sound that comes out. Um, and then Robbie finds an axe, and he's just like, awesome. I'm like, no, 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 not awesome, Robbie, not awesome. Just a rando axe. No, 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 my brother, no, not awesome. So I believe it's that night the booming starts. And it is this otherworldly sound. It's as if like something has fallen to earth, and it is almost deafening. It's so ominous because you don't know where it's coming from, what it is, it's leading up to, what's coming. Um and it's repetitive, and then it goes away, and then it starts again. Um then soon as the booming starts, we get a little bit of this is where some of the peeps are like, let's the fuck go home. Like Ange wants to go, and Robbie's pretty much calling her a diva. Um, and she's like, it's, you know what? The booming's crazy. I, let's just go. Let's just go. You've got what you need. Let's leave. And they don't. Um, and let's see. I think that's where I'm going to leave this because it literally ramps up the next day. It just, so you're talking, I looked at this. So its movie is, oh, how long? It is an hour and 50 minutes. So we're at about the 50 point, 50 minutes, because for the last hour, it is fucking crazy. It's crazy. So I'm gonna say if you want my like what I think of this, I would say watch it, go in with literally nothing. Just, I hope you guys and maybe someone will be more, warm to the character more than I. Honestly, you don't really need to. You don't need to be like, we don't need an in-depth, backstory of all the characters. We don't for what happens. Um, but you need to be invested enough to care what happens to them. Um, and I think that they did accomplish that. I did care about these people, even though some of them drove me crazy. I did care. Um, and everything about it, knowing that it was like $15,000 blows me the fuck away because it is visually stunning. It is visually stunning. And what he is able to do in certain parts, especially in that last hour, knowing he had 15,000 fucking dollars blows my mind. Um, it's gorgeous. It will make you upset. I literally texted Ween and said, I almost threw up twice. I gagged so hard, I almost vomited at a couple points. And I've seen I've seen some shit. And this was so realistic. This something that happens was so fucking realistic that I had to turn away because I was gagging. I was gagging. So I will say fuck the haters. I mean, really, honestly, fuck the haters. This movie was decent. I mean, will it be my favorite movie of 2022? No. Is it my one of my favorite horror movies? No. Is it something different? Fuck yes. It's something different. It's enjoyable in the fact as this will keep you thinking. I will be thinking about this movie like days, weeks from now of what was happening in this movie. And again, blown away by the fact that 15 fucking $1,000. Um, like Skinamarink, it doesn't kind of surprise me for $15,000 in somebody's house. This is in the middle of the California desert. Look at that. Ha, boom. Yeah, so I'm gonna say go ahead and watch it. Two thumbs up. If you want to be spoiled, stay on. Otherwise, check us out. Check our podcast out. If you haven't already, anywhere you get podcasts. We just finished Black History Month. In our last episode, we did Nope and Master, and we will be doing this March. We will be doing a combination of women's history and Irish horror. Because we couldn't decide, so we said, "Fuck it, let's just compromise." So our first, it will be celebrating women's history, and we're doing Saint Maud and one of my least favorite fucking movies on the planet, Babadook. Because we were looking for movies that were either written and directed, or just directed by women. So, get ready for that. Fucking kids screaming for 2 goddamn hours. Me screaming for another hour. Um, if you are staying on, please stay on. Otherwise, keep it spooky. Okay, did you stay? All right, if you're here, you can hear my crazy fucking theory about this. So, after the shit hitteth the faneth, which is, I think, the third day, is at night. Of course, it's fucking at night. Is they see, well, actually, no, I'm sorry. Um, it's at night, but it's like dusk because you can see a figure. It's Robbie gets out by himself, goes out, and he sees a figure with said axe And he's like, hey, who is that? Who is that? No one answers. This person doesn't answer, but starts coming towards him. All of a sudden, he turns around and he books it. And uh, we just hear a thunk and what sounds like squelches. Like the sound design on this fucking thing is amazing. Um, and just dripping blood. Blood is dripping, dripping, dripping. And so he goes back to he goes back to because he's sharing his tent with Scott. So he goes to Scott's tent and he goes to get in. First he goes over to the girls. He goes to Angie and Michelle, and Angie wakes up. And she's like, Robbie, what's wrong? What's wrong? And you can hear it. It just says blood dripping or blood splattering, but it just sounds like blood dripping on something, but but more than like just a drop, drop, drop. It's like constant. It's a gusher. Gross. And she's like, the fuck, Robbie, what's going on? And he just kind of leaves her. And then the next shot, because a lot of these shots are the shot and then it kind of cuts and then another shot. So you're not getting a full 360 of things that are happening. It's kind of like shot, stop, shot, stop, shot. And it's going to get worse. So again, we will hate this. So if you already don't like fucking found footage, holy shit, this is not the movie for you, because this is all over the place. He might as well have been throwing the camera at certain points. Anywho, he gets back to his tent with his brother, and again, you can hear the blood just dripping and cascading onto the tent. And suddenly, if there's a ripping, and like, I would also encourage you. This is on Screenbox, so you can if you have Screenbox, you can stream it there. You can rent it, I believe, too. But I might as well give a shout out to Screenbox. I think it's something like $13 for a year. I don't know. That was when the preliminary cost. I don't know if it's gone up since then, but I think I paid $25 for the year for a Screenbox, something like that. Anywho, um, you I would put the subtitles on, because yes, you will hear these things, but I think it's worse when you read the words bone crushing and like ripping and tearing and you know skull crush, that sort of thing. Like, that's disturbing. It's bad enough that you hear something that's a bone, but then when it's specific, it's worse when you know exactly what bone is being crushed. Worse. So then this is where it just gets into madness. So I'm gonna not go through the rest of this. I guess I should hit bits and pieces. It is, I can't describe it. I think that's where I'm gonna be at. I can't describe this to you guys because it is a fever dream. There's like, at one point he like rips his own skin off. Um he sees Ange, and she's been hacked up. Michelle, you at one point, like very like after he goes to, you hear the ripping of the tent, you hear Ash and Michelle just being brutalized out in the desert. We never really understand. We don't see what happens to, I mean, we do, but we don't see what happens to Scott. Like, we don't see his death, but we hear Angie's and Michelle's. Holy shit. It is. You want to hear someone scream for their mommy? Oh, and that's Michelle. And I'm gonna tell you, like, she drove me up a fucking wall, but tears to my eyes, definitely, when someone's screaming, I want my mommy, I want my mommy. Holy God. Oh. So, and at points, like I said, it's a flash to flash to flash to flash. So it is smash cut to smash cut to smash cut to smash cut. Not as nice. It's not a nice transition, but these shots are all over the place. At one point, one of the cameras upside down. and you're seeing the exact shot as that you just saw, but from an upside down angle, like as if the camera was up on its end, like he had just dropped it. So yes, Robbie has his camera the whole time, which, as someone said, and I 100% agree, because this is, each time there's a title card sequence that comes up, it says tape 1, tape 2, tape 3. These are tapes that comes up, and you get a title screen that says at the very beginning, these have been collected by the police department. So someone is watching these. So by that being said, they are being recorded onto digital film and recorded digitally, meaning that is not, this is not a hallucination. They did not go, Ayahuasca, was it Ayahuasca? They didn't do peyote and just like hang out in the desert like ayahuasca. That's it, ayahuasca. Weren't doing that and hanging out in the desert. This is happening. This is real. So these shots are otherworldly. Like I keep saying that, using that word, but I cannot describe it any other way. So here is my thinking, is what's happening. I've heard people say this is hell. I don't necessarily think it's hell. What I think is happening is because at certain points you have what looks to be a hand, Robbie's hand, going through a tear. Screen is black except for like it looks like a hand is going into the light and it's pulling apart. And what someone said, and I agree with this, and I was expanding upon it, is they have reached a part in the desert, Mojave Desert, because one of his tears that he goes into, because each time he goes into a tear, he's either pulling his skin off and he's becoming a new person, or at one point he comes out of a tear and blood just gushes on, like he's being birthed into a new world. So I think that these are different worlds or dimensions that he is entering. And someone mentioned, because one of the worlds he goes into, he lands on a sign that says that this is this restricted area because it is a government testing site. That's why I thought it was Arizona for a second. I thought it was the nuclear testing site. I was like, oh, but Mojave, what the fuck? It could be anything up there. And so the other thought is that this is government, like this is like a government project that they happen to stumble upon out in the desert, and they are trapped in this like deep because again, we only see Robbie's journey. We're not seeing any of the other the other people's journey. So we are only seeing what Robbie is seeing through this whole thing. So at one point he's underwater, but it's red tinted. So, and then at one point he then emerges from that, and there's another point, another realm that he's in, that there's a fucking monster that is straight out of like, I don't, oh God, I can't even describe. It's like you don't get, here's the other thing. The amount of light that you get in this thing is just what is on the flashlight that Robbie has. So you're talking about this much light, or the light on Robbie's camera. It might be one of the two, I'm not sure. This is how much light you're getting. So when he's looking at, again, $15,000 for this is amazing. When he's looking at these monsters and he's going back, and they're like, the one breathes in and it's like almost like underneath its skin you can see fire burning, and as it breathes in, so it's almost like a dragon would be, or a demon or something like that. So I think that's where people were thinking that it's hell, and that could be a hell realm. Who knows? I mean, this movie's so open for interpretation. And what I love about Robbie Banfitch is he's saying, like, somebody asked him like, hey, what is the meaning of your movie? And he's kind of like, Banfitch. I almost say bandwidth. I'm sorry. That's funny. I'm sorry. That is funny. How much did that poor gentleman get that called to him as bandwidth? But what Robbie has said, it's kind of like he's not going to put, it's going to, I hate that cop out of it is what it is to you, whoever, but I think, and this is a perfect context to say that in, it's whatever you interpret it to be. And when I was saying earlier about him being gay and possibly the hell realm is, that could be his own because he's had probably so many people saying, well, you're gay, you're going to hell, that because all these religious crazy fuckers have said that kind of shit to him in the past, I'm sure, being a gay person. Um, and so maybe that's part of it too, is that he feels that this is his penance, or and so one of the hell realms might, or not, I mean, it and go into these different realms. Do we kind of like, does our personality or our experiences then decide what realm we're going to go into? I don't know, but it's it's a lot. But I really, really connected with the theory that it was a series of different slash like a permeate a like a slice or a rift in time and space, and that different realms that they were going into or dimensions they were going into, because everyone kept saying like HP Lovecraft inspired. I'm like, well, I mean, I guess the weird, there is a monster with tentacles at one point. That's where you get the bone crushing. So yeah, I can see the HP, I mean, and I can see the cosmic horror that is HP Lovecraft in this, where it is a in time and space that we're traveling through here, through the different dimensions. Yes, it is very Lovecraftian in that sense. And what we're going to encounter is not like we ever encounter here in our own realm, or what is normal to us now. No, someone who was like, why are they all bloody in certain, because he does come across his people in his group. And my thinking is, we don't know what path they're on. We don't know where in this cycle they're at. The other thought is the other theory, and it's not completely far off. So the very end of the movie, we we have Scott, Angie, and Michelle's heads on spikes, very tall spikes. So we're thinking that Robbie, when he saw that axe, either lost it, meaning his went a little loco, or this is just part of what happens in one of the dimensions he was in. But he grabbed the axe and murdered the rest of his friends. And so we don't know where they're at in their so this could be the stakes at the end could be the at that timeline is the end, but also in another timeline they might be battling a fucking tentacle demon. I don't know. This movie's awesome. This movie's so, you could talk about it fucking days. Oh, but I'm not going to tell you why I almost threw up. I'm going to let you experience that your fucking self, because Jesus H. Christ. I'm going to say, and you please at me and be like, you're fucking full of shit. And I'll be like, cool. That's just my interpretation. That's what I got out of it. I mean, I was like, okay, this is what I think. And then some other people had the same sort of theory. And I kind of was like, okay, but I get that. And I started thinking more and more and more and more. And that's where I came to. So I would recommend is watch it, jump online, look at some theories, really like enjoy it for what it is. You're not gonna, I mean, it's not a movie you're gonna come out and be like, yeah, it was great. Like it's a lot. But I think there's a lot to talk about afterwards. So if you think I'm full of shit, please keep it to yourself. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, please tell me. Be like, well, Ray, I don't think necessarily that's true. And we can have a cool discussion about like why you're wrong and I'm right. And where the Mojave Desert is. Um so anyhow, that is my little review. It's fucking longer than the movie we're about to snap right now. Then and the other thing I want to say real quick, because there are four different posters for this movie, each with each character. And it says the tagline is see what Michelle August saw. See what Robbie Zagorek saw. That's one says, and one says see what Scott Zagorek saw. Yeah, one says see what Ange Bazucci saw. So that's why I said we see Robbie, but I don't necessarily think we're not seeing everybody else's travels through these dimensions. But if if we're all gonna experience the dimensions that are experienced in this movie, fuck me, just kill me now. Fucking kill me dead. Anyhow, uh I guess at this point I'm just gonna say keep it spooky. I'll be back with Ween, and we're gonna do a review of Megan. So watch for that. That'll be coming up very shortly. And probably we'll start our watch with Ray and Ween on The Last of Us. So or at least one of us, I'm sure, is either gonna be watch with Ray or watch with Ween and Ray about The Last of Us. Because who doesn't want to fucking listen to watch Pedro Pascal be fucking hate the word daddy, but be a savior daddy for an hour at a time. Cool. All right. Keep it spooky.